Hello everyone, welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. I'm Nivedita Raje and this is the revision marathon for SLAT Legal Aptitude Part 1. Good evening everyone, welcome, how are you all? Good evening, good evening. Am I audible? Good evening guys, how are you? How was your ALET? कैसा हुआ तुम लोग का ALET का exam? How was it? Did you perform well? Good evening to all. So SLAT is relatively an easy exam, and if you are prepared enough, you can actually qualify it. So do think about taking the exam. Do not lose hope. If you have done well in CLAT and ALET, you should give SLAT also, because you should always have your options open, right? So this is a practice marathon which will contain questions that have been picked up from previous year question papers, the most expected questions or the topics that we expect a question might come from. So it's a very deeply researched marathon. We have taken into consideration everything that is important and questions are based on that. So let us take it and let's see what your level is. Even if you're not able to score as well as you are expecting of you, do not lose hope. It is just a practice session. Okay, reality is different, so that's not a problem. Okay everyone, shall we begin or shall we wait for a minute or two? Okay, I hope there is no echo or anything. Sorry. Okay, so let's start. So it's a 2-hour marathon. You have too many questions. Be prepared. Question number 1. I won't read along with you because students complain that when I read, you get disturbed. So I won't read. Question on private defense, very tricky. First question, and that also difficult. Good evening. A is not liable for murder because he killed B in self-defense. A is liable for murder because he did not kill B in self-defense. A is not liable for murder of B because B is liable for causing grievous hurt to C and D. A is not liable for murder of B but B is liable for causing simple hurt to C and D. Yes! What do you think? And the options are these. Everyone, what are your answers? We don't have a poll here, so you have to narrate the answers yourself. What do you think the option is going to be? Okay, so I'm getting a lot of B's. Are you sure it's B? चिराग मैंने बात सुन ली तुम्हारी. स्पैम मत करो यार. Can somebody take care of this guy? Repeat mode पे चला गया है. His record is broken or something. The correct answer is B. Yes, the correct answer is B, guys. A is definitely liable for murder because he did not kill B in self-defense. Self-defense was over. Okay, self-defense was over. Thank you so much, Nandini. You are a sweetheart. Self-defense can only be exercised while the attack is going on. I have explained to you, attack के लिए self-defense है. You can only use or exercise your right to defend yourself only when you are getting attacked. As soon as the attack comes to an end, the self-defense also ends. So when the attack ceased, when the attack ceased, the defense should also have ceased, and that is why A will be liable for murder. Nandini, again, thank you so much. You made my day, sweetheart. Thank you so much. You are amazing. Okay. दिन बना दिया तुमने मेरा. I feel so happy. Hello. Yes, Ankita, it's going to help you. So yes, you practice these questions. They will also be of great help. They're good questions. Done? Everyone? Okay. Thank you, Anshika. Thank you so much. It's such a good day. You students are so sweet. Kash sab tum jaise hote. These are the options. A will be held liable for battery because of clinical depression, or A will be held liable for assault or battery as he did not intend. It will not be liable, will not be liable, will be liable. Okay, what's your answer? Principle was there. There was a principle. There was a factual situation rather than, a principle. Yeah, there is no principle actually. Come to think of it, there is no principle in both the questions. फिर भी तुम लोगों ने आंसर कर दिया. You guys are amazing. Even I didn't pay attention to the fact that there is no principle. Wow. And you have answered yet again. Yes, D is absolutely correct, guys. D is correct. A will be held liable for assault. Wow. A will be held liable for assault and as his actions caused reasonable apprehension of immediate violence in B's mind. Yep, moving on. Now we have principle. Marrying again during the lifetime of husband or wife amounts to bigamy, and such second marriage during the subsistence of first valid will be void. That's amazing. I mean, you are answering even when the principle is not there. So that's an anomaly at our end. But nothing can affect you. Your preparation is so robust that you don't even need principles anymore. Oh, that is so sweet. I am happy. Okay, yes. So the question is on bigamy. Facts are, should I read? Edward and Bella are married for 10 years, have 2 children. Out of this wedlock, Bella is suffering from cancer. Doctors told her that she only has some years. In order to assure the well-being of her husband and children, she asks Edward to marry Erica. What a benevolent wife. Bella dies after 4 days of marriage. Whether the marriage of Edward to Erica amounts to bigamy. This is a very, very ambiguous fact. Oh, no. Bella dies 4 days after marriage. What do you think is answer? What do you think it's the answer is? These are the options. It'll amount to bigamy because it is done during the lifetime of Bella. Will amount to adultery. Will amount to rape because Erica's consent is not taken. Will not amount to bigamy because it is done with Bella's consent. Okay. What do you think it is? Is it bigamy? Is it adultery? Is it rape? Or it is not bigamy because the first wife said. Exactly. Very good, guys. It is nothing but bigamy. The principle clearly says that marrying during a getting married for the second time while your first marriage is subsisting is bigamy. End of story. No buts, no if, no movie, drama, cancer, etc. It is bigamy. And it is the correct answer. A is the correct answer. Very, very good. Okay, question number 4. Which of the following is not a ground for divorce available to either spouse under the Hindu Marriage Act? Adultery, cruelty, desertion, leprosy. Are you familiar with the word or the thing which is leprosy? Mirgi pata hai sabko? Mirgi, leprosy is no. Actually, mirgi is epilepsy. What is leprosy? I also have to find out. Oh, leprosy is a skin disorder. Leprosy is a skin disorder? Yes, exactly. You cannot divorce your respective spouse just because they have a skin disorder. Epilepsy is mirgi, and I think epilepsy is a ground for divorce because it's a mental illness, no? D is correct. Moving on, question 5. What does the maxim necessitas non habet legem mean in law? बताओ जल्दी से. Yeah, leprosy is a disease. I think it's Kusht rog, no? Code, that skin disorder. Desertion means to leave somebody. That's desertion. Okay, necessitas non habet legem mean, what does it mean? So Anshika, Shinchu, friends, Khushi, Anjali, Nipun, and Shreya, Agrima. I'm only reading out the corrects. Mahita, Kushagra, Aanchal, Akansha, Miriam, Rosie. It's A. Necessity knows no law. Is everybody familiar with the defense of necessity? It is applicable in both civil and criminal law. I've taught it to you in torts and crime. So yes, it's A. It's A. Necessity knows no law. If there's a necessary condition in which you have to act and the act might cause a legal violation, that violation is justified. If you are doing it to prevent a greater harm, so it is A. Okay, that is the defense of necessity. It's an important defense, guys, because it's in both. It's available in both civil and criminal law. Okay. Moving on. A is the correct answer. Question number 6. Yes, there you go. Previous year, yes. These questions are taken from everywhere actually. SLAT, and some of them might be from ALET, some of them might be curated. We have studied the patterns, so we have created majority of them. Previous year questions are also there. MHCET questions are also there. These are just a mix of all the relevant things that I think you should revise. Exactly, no principle. Section 56 is everyone familiar with the, sorry, yeah, there's no principle. What are they even asking? Let's see what are they asking. ABC is not liable because the contract is impossible. We're talking about impossibility of contract. Section 56 talks about frustration of the contract because it becomes impossible to perform. So these are the options. Let's see if you can do it without the principle. Is ABC liable? Is the contract really impossible to perform? That's what they're asking. Section 56 is impossible to perform, guys. Is the section is the situation covered as an impossible situation? Is it now impossible to perform the contract? Thank you, Anshika. That is the question. Is it impossible to perform the contract? These are your options. Very good. Very good. Yes, everyone. Mahita, Rosie, Shinshu, Nipun, Kishag, friends, Kushi, Anshika, Violet, Aanchal, Prachi, none of you are wrong. It is B. ABC is liable because the contract is not impossible to perform. Very good, guys. Amazing. Moving on. Question number 7. .25 मार्क्स इज डिजायर. नो असद, ऐसे चलता है. देखो मैं तुम्हें समझाती हूँ. अगर आप एक क्वेश्चन को अटेम्प्ट नहीं करते हैं तो आपको वो मार्क नहीं मिलता है ना. ये होता है जनरल सिस्टम. अगर क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट किया तो 1 मार्क मिलेगा, नहीं अटेम्प्ट किया तो कोई मार्क नहीं मिलेगा. नेगेटिव मार्किंग में अगर क्वेश्चन को तुम अटेम्प्ट नहीं करते तो मार्क्स नहीं मिलते, अगर गलत अटेम्प्ट करते हो तो मार्क्स भी नहीं मिलते और 0.25 मार्क कम भी हो जाता है. मतलब आप 1.25 लूज कर देते हैं. ठीक है. तो अगर आपने 4 क्वेश्चंस देखे, ठीक है, और दूसरे बच्चे ने भी 4 क्वेश्चंस देखे, दोनों को ही चारों क्वेश्चंस नहीं आते हैं, आपने वो चारों क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट किए, उसने वो चारों क्वेश्चंस छोड़ दिए, तो उसके तो सिर्फ 4 मार्क्स कम होंगे क्योंकि उसने अटेम्प्ट नहीं किए, लेकिन आपके 4.5 कम हो जाएंगे क्योंकि आपने चारों गलत किए. 0.25 डिडक्ट भी हो जाएगा. ये होता है नेगेटिव मार्किंग का सिस्टम. ठीक है. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं, ऑप्शंस देखते हैं. लायबल है कि नहीं है. Is she liable? Is it an act of God? Do you think it was an act of God? Everyone. Okay, Adi is the first to answer. Then I have Kushag, Anjali, then I have Shinchu, Nandana, Nipun, Achal. What do you think the correct answer is? I'm only talking about the students who are giving correct options. It's A. It is not an act of God. Elena is liable. Yes, Elena is liable. A is correct. Question number 8. Under section 13(1), Okay, this is more like a logical question. Whether a single act of adultery can be a ground of divorce. Single act of adultery means only one of the spouse is cheating. Both are not cheating. What kind of a question is this? So if one of the spouse is cheating, can the other obtain divorce? Or he has to be cheating too so as to obtain the divorce? It's easy. It's stupid and easy. Very good, Adi, Khushi, Rosie, Nipun. Yes, a single act of adultery can definitely be a ground for divorce. A is absolutely correct. लाइबल कैसे है? क्योंकि ये एक्ट ऑफ गॉड की सिचुएशन नहीं है. एक्ट ऑफ गॉड एक डिफेंस होता है बच्चे, नंदिनी. ठीक है, तो एक्ट ऑफ गॉड इज अ सिचुएशन वेयर इन अ नेचुरल डिजास्टर हिट्स. ओके, एंड इट हिट्स इन अ मैनर दैट somebody gets hurt. For example, if let's say there is a person who has artificial water bodies like ponds kinds of bodies on his estate, right? And one fine day it rains, and it rains so intensely, it is so cats and dogs raining that the entire city gets flooded. So the question is, will the man be responsible because it was his water bodies that flooded the city in the first place? In this situation, he won't be liable because he did not flood them himself. It was that intense rain that caused the flooding, and he could not have done anything about it. That is act of God. In this situation, Elena should have been careful because the area is already prone to storms. Okay, that is why it is not an act of God. Okay. Question number 9. A be married for 4 years. A has come to seek legal advice from you to file a divorce case as well as criminal case against his wife B for the offense of adultery. It's adultery, not adulty. Suggest. I have explained to you what adultery is, right? Now you should remember what I told you about adultery being a crime and the latest development after Joseph Shine. So if you're not familiar, I'll tell it to you now, but tell me the answer first. So Adi and Mahita has said that he will only succeed in divorce case. He won't succeed in a criminal case. But Nipun says he can file for a criminal charge as well. No, he cannot file for a criminal charge. He can only file for divorce. Listen, divorce, adultery used to be an offense. It was an offense before 2018. So a husband could prosecute his wife's boyfriend if the extramarital affair was going on without his permission. Okay, that was the offense of adultery. That's what adultery said. अगर एक हस्बैंड की मर्जी के बिना एक आदमी उसकी पत्नी के साथ इन्वॉल्व हो जाता है, एक्स्ट्रा मैरिटल अफेयर कर लेता है, तो वो हस्बैंड उस आदमी को अडल्ट्री के नाम पे प्रोसिक्यूट कर सकता है. दैट इज द ऑफेंस. But after Joseph Shine versus Union of India, after the development of right to privacy as a fundamental right, it was propounded, it was held that adultery cannot be a criminal charge. What a woman does in her private life is something which is kept, which is meant to be private. It cannot be exposed in front of the world as court proceedings, right? Plus, it is also violative of the provisions of equality. It is also creating or what should I say? Attacking the dignity of a woman, because it is as if somebody picks up my phone. If somebody picks up my phone without my consent, will I punish the phone or will I punish that man? Why will I not punish my phone? Because phone is my property and the property cannot do anything. Property is stupid. Property is mindless. Property cannot think. Property is non-living, right? But the man who has picked up my property is not non-living. He is very well living. He has mind of his own and he is a criminal. I can prosecute him. The similar concept extended to theft also. If the extramarital affair carries on with the permission of a husband, it is not adultery. But if the marital affair carries on without the permission of another, without the permission of husband, then it becomes adultery. So it was reducing wife as property, which is absolutely against the constitutional provisions. The wife did not have the same right, so it was violative of equality. Plus, it violated the right to privacy, which was a latest right developed after Puttuswamy versus Union of India. So that is why adultery is no longer a crime. It can only be a ground for divorce. That is why it's A. I don't think I would be able to carry this class for 2 hours. I don't have that many questions. For a class to be of 2 hours, I need more questions. I don't have. Might be 1 hour, but not more than that. It might be 40 minutes only. What do you think the answer? Okay, Adi is the first to answer and he says it's D. Khushi also says D. Violet also says D. Kushagra also says D. Gitanshi. Who else? I have so many students watching. Everybody should answer. Anshika Maheta also says D. Puneet also says D. Kushagra has already answered and he is 100% sure it is D. Well, if you are that sure, who am I to deny? I mean, it is D. Yes. Zara is not liable because her act was not to kill Zoe. Yes, it is D. Very good. Very good. It is D. Question 11. Agreement between two parties to do an impossible act is void in itself. Harry was suffering from cancer, undergoing the treatment for the same. His health was not recovering. One day, Hermione agrees to cure Harry's cancer with new medicine that she has made to cure cancer. Now, she believes that the medicine cures cancer because it has magic. Decide the validity of the agreement. Oh my god. Oh my god. Can a question be more any easy? Mahida is the first to answer. Then I have Rina, Friends, Nipun, Agrima, Renam. Rina, what I cannot pronounce. Anshika, Kushag, Ritu, Nandana, Gitanshi, Anuya. Unique names. It is A. The agreement is void. Okay, the Harry Potter fiction doesn't exist in real world. If only. Well, it doesn't, and cancer cannot be cured by magic. The agreement is void. It's very simple. It's too simple, actually. Question number 12. Which of the following articles of the Constitution of India prohibits class legislation but allows reasonable classification based on intelligible differentia? Now, this is something that you must have learned because we discussed it. It's the same thing. Adi, do we have an option of void ab initio? Because the principle says void. If the principle said void ab initio, it mentioned void ab initio, then this could be true. But since ab initio is not a word that was used in the principle, you also won't use it. That is why A is the answer. Okay? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So Krishna, Rosie, Puneet, Asmita, Gitanshi, Prachi, Anshika, Nipun, Akansha, Sejal, Kushagra. Everybody says it's Article 14. Everybody? Renub. 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 Okay, Renub. I'm sorry. It's Renub. It's a beautiful name. Very unique. It's Article 14, exactly. The general principle of equality allows reasonable classification based on intelligible differentia, which means that you can categorize people, but the reason you are classifying the people, the reason because of which you are making such classification, and the objective that you seek to achieve through that classification should be reasonable and intelligent. You cannot do class legislation, or you cannot create a separate law for separate class. That is not allowed. That Hindus would be like, a general law cannot be class or class specific. That's what article 14 completely prohibits. Okay, this is article 14, and correct answer is A. Very good, guys. And these are all the questions that I have. Oopsie. So it's not a 2-hour marathon. It was only a 30-minute marathon. What can we do? Just give me a second. Let me see if I have. Is that really it? That's actually it. So that's. अभी क्वेश्चन ही इतने हैं तो क्या करें अंजलि? SLAT might not give you principles in your questions. Majorly they do, but if they don't, it is pretty evident that you don't need principles. You can do very well even without principles. So that's it. I know it ended too soon, but what can we do? That's all the questions that I have. You can see. मतलब मैंने कुछ भी नहीं किया. End की slide अपने आप ही आ गई. हाँ, I know. 12-15 questions कम होते हैं. कोई बात नहीं. Next part में we'll include more questions. Okay, don't worry. There's a part 2 which is coming very soon. It is only a part 1. Okay, it says part 1. So I promise you, in part 2 I'll include a lot many questions. Don't worry. Okay, so you can follow us. MHCET gives principles. Yes, they do. Sometimes they don't. If the question does not require a principle, they won't give it. Okay, so you follow us on BYJU'S exam prep law. You subscribe us on the channel. If you haven't already, like us on Facebook, join our Telegram channel, and download our app. Next session will be very soon, Rosie. I don't have the date yet, but it'll be very soon. Some legal facts. Legal facts. There's no such thing as legal facts, buddy. But I'll find something and discuss them with you. Okay? Okay, so that's it, guys. Do not forget to like this session. Varna katti ho jayegi. You have to like this session, and I shall see you again very soon. Tab tak ke liye, everybody take care. Bye bye. Thank you so much for being so amazing and so attentive.